Alright, so we need to load a previous day. There are pans amongst the pans among the pots, probably. Right, so we knocked out case 4C, where Cocoricio was murdered by Beaumont, and at the end of it, the revolution did start. Jayjay and Beaumont were nowhere to be, like, they were presumed dead, but bodies weren't found, and Sparrowson escaped and made his way to a train to go to Vienna. So to get these ones, we need to go back to this day, and I believe we do the exact same thing, except we're going to gather clues and evidence, and we're going to go for the bad ending first, and then come back to, I think, somewhere in here, and go for the good ending. To escape the doctor's bill? Well, that's it, but also there was a revolution going on in France and shootings and stuff and whatnot, so pretty much everyone escaped. Yeah, I think so, Calibum. But the issue with that is that if you need lots of like draw and you ramp up and you use it to get that and you don't draw those cards, you're just dead now, right? I have read through this, so I might paraphrase some of it. We'll see. We'll see how I feel. The first two cases just get you into the game mechanics. There's no real story with it. But yeah, so we're going to continue. Case 3, alternate endings. Let's do it. Do I remember the July Revolution? Of course. How could I ever forget? The chanting, the violence, the smell of gunpowder. The 3 glorious days. Boom! Oh, I shot gunpowder. Sleeping City. Can't believe he's skipping work again. I swear, if I find that moping bird brain at Le Canard Joyeux... Ah, finally. Good morning, Falcon. Morning, Spar. No, wait, it's 2 in the afternoon. That means the official greeting is... Where the hell have you been, lazy bones? It's far too early for this level of roasting. Pass the Cabernet Sauvignon. No way. We've got important business to discuss. I can't do that if you're half drunk. Mind you, give me a break. Haven't had a good night's sleep since the trial. Something on your mind? Actually, yes. It was what the Wolf Judge said. About a revolution. Sure, that guy was off his rocker. And besides, if we worried about every potential French revolution, we would never get any work done at all. Am I right? Yeah, maybe you're right. Worrying doesn't do us any good. Tell me about the important business you wanted to discuss. Oh yeah, the business. A letter. This one's from the Paris Police Department. Fancy wax seal and everything. That is indeed a fancy seal. Well, go ahead, Sparrowson. You may have the honours. All right. Ahem. Monsieur Falcon, meet me on the rooftop cafe opposite Place de la Bastille. I have a proposal. Regards, Inspector Valerti. That's it. How terse. Valerti's letter has been added to the evidence folder. Proposal from the inspector? Interesting. You have any idea what sort of proposal he has in mind? Not a clue. So, are we going to meet him and find out? You may as well. Don't know what sort of proposal the inspector has in mind. We'd be foolish to reject it without even hearing him out. Grab your coat. Alright, No dilly-dallying. I like it. But before I forget, I need to drop by the hospital at some point. What did you eat this time? No, it's not like that. Well, not entirely. I need to pay for the bill from my last visit. Oh, that's reasonable. Sure, we could pay a visit, but the inspector's call should take priority, I think. Okay, so I'm going to go to Bastille. Brr. It's far too cold to be meeting on a rooftop cafe. Why couldn't the inspector have chosen a comfier location? Who knows? Maybe the inspector likes the view because it reminds him of his days guarding the old Bastille under the ancient regime. Wait, you think the inspector worked here during the ancient regime? Do you think that's how he got his war wounds? It was a joke, Sparrowson. Pretty sure the inspector isn't that old. Well. Severin, what are you doing here? Settle down, Jayjay. Just like you, I was invited here by the inspector. What can you want with the three of us? It's hardly unusual for the lawyers and police of France to collaborate. The inspector probably has a big investigative role that requires all hands on deck. Big investigative role. Sounds juicy. Oh, by the by, did you hear what happened to Judge Romulus? No, what? He escaped from prison before we could even try him. Rumour has it that the wolf bribed the jailkeeper then fled for the hills. So he escaped justice. For now, but don't fret. Nobody manages to escape the long arm of the law forever. Speaking of which... Ah, good. You're all here. Excuse me? Monsieur Mr. Inspector Valerdi, sir. Falcon and I were wondering, did you get your injuries while defending the old Bastille prison? Don't drag me into this, you fool. I was joking. Impudent whelps. I'm not that old. I sustained these injuries when in the July Revolution, 18 years ago. I was a Royal Guard, just a lowly peon. It was thick with gunpowder and blood. Oh great, now you've set him off. We were given the order to charge at a rebel barricade. My comrades and I fastened our bayonets. Suddenly, boom! Without warning, a gunpowder keg exploded. My comrades were dead. I was heavily wounded. That's when I looked up and saw a looming figure standing between the gargoyles of Notre Dame. It was the Viridian killer himself. Ahem. This is a fascinating story, Inspector. But perhaps you could tell us why we're here? Oh, right, of course. Why we're here. What I'm about to tell you is to remain strictly confidential, you understand? It's a matter of national security. As you've probably heard, France is under threat from a certain heinous group. Hipsters. Revolutionaries. Indeed, rebels. There's a storm brewing in the shadows of Paris. We, the Paris Police Department, have known about it for months. No, years. Every tavern and on every street corner, people talking of organising protests and overthrowing the government. The king has ordered for public gatherings to be dispersed and newspapers to be censored. But the whispers of dissent remain. No surprise there. If you take away an angry citizen's ability to speak, they will just get even angrier. Indeed. And that's why it's paramount that we find and strike at the heart of the rebel group as soon as possible. For that, I need your help. What exactly do you want us to do? Interview citizens, scout locations, find the secret rebel meeting location that escaped the eyes of the police. Do we have any leads? Just one. We know the rebels are having weapons supplied to them by a crooked merchant who is only referred to as the Croque Monsieur. Like the sandwich? What? The Croque Monsieur. It's a hot sandwich. Cheese, ham, a little bechamel. Throw on some peppers if it's Friday night. Has nothing to do with sandwiches. Croque Monsieur is the alias accomplished a notoriously dangerous arms dealer. In any case, it's everything the Parisian police know. That's everything. That's all you have to demonstrate after years of tracking. Naturally, as a public prosecutor, it's my duty to help the police with their investigative work. I'd be honoured to lend any and all assistance. Stack up. That's very good to hear, Monsieur Cocorico. What about you, Falcon? Well, to be honest, Inspector, I don't quite understand why you're asking me. I'm a private defence attorney. I work for citizens who get stuck in legal trouble. Rebel hunting isn't quite my forte. Want to know why I'm asking you? Look around you, Falcon. We're surrounded by corruption and incompetence. The judges are bloodthirsty wolves, the jailers are thieving ravens, and the National Guard are sitting ducks. Oh, they actually are ducks. That's Look at the slackers and dullards who are supposedly to protect and serve this country. Nobody cares about justice anymore. You saw my shameful display at the previous trials. Those are the results I produce with imbeciles to assist me. You three, you care. Falcon, I saw you defending Dame Cataline and Prince Juan. I heard of your escapades around the city, frantically collecting evidence and interviewing witnesses. Frankly, you did more investigative work over the last month than I've seen any policeman do in a year. Not including myself, of course. But Dame Cataline... It doesn't matter. You have passion and conviction, and you aren't a total bird brain. By my book, that makes you a fantastic investigator, even if that is not in your job description. So what do you say? You sit around your office twiddling your thumbs until another pointless job offer falls into your lap? Or do you want to take the opportunity to do something great and help us track down the animals who wish to harm our glorious nation? I would be honored. I would be honored to help my country, Inspector. Consider us on board. Excellent. That's what I wanted to hear. I had no idea you were such a patriot, Jayjay. There's nothing wrong with a little national pride. Your pride is fine and all, but, do we get any compensation for this? Of course. Here's 50 francs. You'll receive another 50 upon completion of your work. 50 francs? Psh, you're being undersold. Hush, Sparrowson. This is a great opportunity. I don't want to keep you any longer than necessary. We already have all the key facts of the investigation. Find the elusive croque-monsieur. Find where the rebels are congregating. These are your two tasks. I'll check up on your progress in 3 weeks' time. See what you can accomplish by then. I'll be doing my own independent investigation into the rebel group, Jayjay. So I suppose this is a competition of sorts. You and your competitions, Cocorico. Try to keep up with me. Don't make me laugh, Severin. I'll have all the rebel leaders behind bars before you even have your first suspect. Come on, Sparrowson. We have a croque-monsieur to hunt. Okay, let's go. And your little competition would kick those bird brains into gear. Well, Inspector, this has been a productive meeting. I should probably start my investigation into the croque-monsieur too. Not so fast, Cocorico. There's something else we need to discuss. We're going to go... Oh, because the third act is pretty similar. We know kind of what to do, so we're just not going to have to sit around and think about it. Just go do it. I'm going to go speak to Renard and Mousy. Hire Renard. That'll give us 3 days. Well, this is most unexpected. Monsieur Falcon, Monsieur Sparrowson. I believe this is our first time meeting without disguises or pretenses, as it were. Oh, but first things first. Mousy, would you kindly fetch our guest some tea? Of course, Monsieur Valps. Of course. Monsieurs? What sort of tea would you like? Chamomile? Darjeeling, maybe? Darjeeling would be divine. Actually, some Darjeeling would be divine. Thank you, Mousy. Sure, Darjeeling sounds good to me too. Okay, 1 pot of Darjeeling coming right up. Let's get down to business. What is it that you two came here for? We have a couple of questions. Monsieur Fops, have you heard of any rumours of an uprising? Of course. These days a man can't walk into a tavern without hearing angry men whispering about violence and revolt. I dare say that Paris might find itself in the midst of yet another revolution before the end of winter. But what can you tell us about the dissenters specifically? Do you know where they are meeting? I'm afraid I only know what you can read in the papers, monsieur. I know anti-government protesters were meeting out in the open until the government clamped down on large public banquets. With the banquets gone, who knows where the dissenters went? I see. Perhaps I can assist you with something else. Have you ever heard of a person called the croque-monsieur? And no, we aren't talking about the sandwich, unfortunately. Croque-monsieur. Are you referring to the black market salesman? The man who claims to be able to procure anything, no matter how illegal? Yes. It sounds exactly like the person we're looking for. Do you know him? Me, personally? No, monsieur. I just know of his vile reputation. I see. Do you have any idea how we can find him? Meet the croque monsieur face to face is not that easy. A man doesn't make himself known to just anybody, after all. I know. Should do a little investigative work on my own. Come back in 3 days. I will tell you where you can find the croque monsieur. It's an enormous help. Thank you much, Monsieur Volps. Of course, there is a price. A price? It's just a small fee. A mere 30 francs. Hey, we saved your derriere over that Prince Juan business. Is there any way to show your gratitude? Monsieur Volps, you must understand this is no personal errand. We're investigating on behalf of king and country. I'm sure your intentions are noble, Monsieur Falcon. I'm running a business here. A fox has to eat. 30 francs and I guarantee I will find you the croque monsieur. That's my final offer. What do you say? We'll take it. Here you go, monsieur. Very good. As I promised, return in 3 days or later. I will tell you where the croque monsieur can be found. Rest assured I will undertake my end of the bargain with care and diligence. I expect nothing less. Thank you, Monsieur Volps. It is my pleasure. Was there anything else you wanted to ask? That's all. That's all. Have a pleasant day, Monsieur Volps. As to you, messieurs. Tea's ready, Monsieur Volps. It's ready. Oh, I'm afraid you're too slow, Mousy. Oh, bother. Okay. So we need to get the whereabouts of what's-his-face. You speak to the dog about his gun at Le Canard Joyeux. No drinking. Bad Falcon. Calm down, Sparrowson. I'm just here for information. Taverns are the first place people go to moan about the government. Therefore, they are perfect rebel breeding grounds. Oh, that makes sense. Oh, it's you two. What'll be today? Wine or beer? I'm afraid it's just questions for now, Madame Cornell. We're looking for a man called the Croque Monsieur. Have you seen him? No, that name doesn't sound familiar at all. Okay, have you heard of any of your patrons bad-mouthing the government? Of course, there's a tavern hunt. If people couldn't come here to grope and talk politics, where else would they go? That's true, but has anyone stood out? Well... just between you and me. And the pair on the drinking floor have been acting very shifty. I'm not saying they aren't rebels, but they're doing far too much talking and not enough drinking, if you know what I mean. I think I do. Thank you, madame. Let's see, where to go? Well, the drinking room. And that's when the mademoiselle told me to put in the order. Squawk? No idea where she keeps them, though. Oh, alright. You know she hates being called mademoiselle. You're going to get stuck with guard duty again. Right you are. The madam it is then. Squawk? Wait, she ain't married, is she? Why do we have to call her madam? Why don't you ask her for yourself? No way. She would straight up eat me alive if I asked that directly. Wait, hush up. You smell that? It smells like eavesdroppers. Can I help you, messieurs? Monsieur, have you heard of a man called... Falcon, wait. There's a slight chance these guys might be rebels, right? So if we ask directly, they might be scared off. Good point. I'll try to keep it subtle. Hey, Monsieur, I see you're carrying a rifle. Evidently. Who manufactured it? Good question. See, most hunters around here are carrying old French Charlevilles, but this beauty is something special. See, it's American, from the Springfield Armory, model 1812, percussion lock firing mechanism. American musket, you say? That's certainly quite special. Must have been hard to procure. Oh, it's true, you can't buy guns of this quality from standard street sellers, but if you know the right people... Please, go on. Well... Okay, listen carefully. But you didn't hear it from me, but to meet the croque monsieur... Actually, it'd be foolish for me to explain in public. It'd be much easier if you just take this. Book of Judges. What is this, some sort of law book? Oh, the book's subject's not important. Just take it. Oh, I see. It's the Book of Judges from the Bible. Old Testament stories of God smiting people and stuff. Appreciate the gift, monsieur, but I'm not religious. Oh, nor am I. Then why are you... Just take it, you idiot! Bible books are what we used to pass around in code phrases, don't we? Code phrases? Alright, please. I'm trying to be low-key. If you can't do that, you're mouthing off with your big beak of yours. Right you are. Trying to forget what my friend said. Just with a little searchy and with the contents of that good book, you should be able to get what you desire. Is that a religious metaphor? No, I'm sure. I'm being very literal. Book of Judges been added to your evidence folder. I don't think we looked at it before. I don't think we have to like actually hunt for the clue ourselves. Well, thank you very much for the gift, monsieur. To be honest, I have no idea how this is supposed to lead me to our gun salesman. I see. Well, I hear there's an excellent friar who performs Bible readings at the Notre Dame Cathedral. Perhaps if you show the man your new book, he will be able to find your particularly spiritual passage. Are you sure this isn't all a religious metaphor? I feel like you're trying to convert me. I assure you I'm as secular as they come, monsieur. Friar, Notre Dame Cathedral. Thank you, monsieur. I'll make a note. Was there something else you wanted? No, that's fine. Thank you for your assistance, messieurs. That's nothing. Get out of here already. Squawk. You two seem like decent fellas. You shouldn't get involved in this rebellion business. Just do whatever you need to with the crockpots and get out of Paris. That's what a smart person would do. I appreciate the advice, monsieur. Alright, we can leave. We're ready to hit the road? Yep. Let's make a move. Okay, so I'm going to go to Notre Dame, like you said. Falcon and Sparrowson step into the grand atrium of the Notre Dame Cathedral. Scaffolding lines much of the crumbling outer wall. Unperturbed, a handful of devotees are silently kneeled in thought. Here for a little prayer, are we, Falcon? I had no idea you were the religious type. You silly? Following up on Fontaine's lead, we must find our mystery friar. Do you think it's that hunched over fellow over there? I bet it's him. He looks super suspicious. Could be. Let's show some tact. Excuse me, Monsieur Friar. Do you know what tact is, Sparrowson? Welcome, my brothers. Welcome. All are welcome under the roof, the house of God. Are you here to confess your sins? Or perhaps you wish to join in our services? Actually, Friar, we're here because... Falcon! That Friar! He looks eerily familiar. How did you mention it? He does look a little like that guy who delivers our post, doesn't he? What? No, that's not who I meant. How does he look anything like our postman? Am I going mad? Your friend appears to be upset. Don't mind him. He's just in a huff because he thinks you look like the judge we once met. Judge Romulus. I get that all the time. His twin brother, you see. Oh, good. I'm not going mad. Bro, would you say you had a good relationship with Romulus? We were close. As you may have heard, he got in trouble with the law recently. I haven't seen him in weeks. I see. I didn't mean to pry. It's no trouble. But tell me, why are you here, my brothers? Oh, right. We have a couple of questions. Bro, we have something we'd like to show you. Show him the book. Would you take a look at this? We heard that you could give special passage readings. Ah, I see. You have your own copy of the Book of Judges. I think you'll find chapter 15, verse 2 to be particularly enlightening. Let's see. Chapter 15, verse 2. This chapter follows the journey of Samson, the heroic judge. This chapter follows the journey of Samson, the heroic judge with divine strength. In this part of the scripture, Samson is confronted by the men who are angered by Samson's notion of justice. Please, could you read the passage? Okay. 3,000 men of Judah went to the top of the rock of Tam. They said to Samson, Knowest thou not the Philistines are rulers over us? What is this that thou hast done unto us? And Samson said unto them, As they did unto me, so have I done unto them. As they did unto me, so I have done unto them. A beautiful sentence, wouldn't you agree? Let's go with poetic. I'm trying to make him happy. It's poetic. Beautiful summation of justice. I understand the passage. It's delightful to hear. Samson was a great judge. Not a judge of today who sits on a high chair and files endless paperwork, but an old judge, a holy judge, a Sophet. Sophets were to be admired and feared. They made their own judgments and dispensed their own punishments. I'm starting to ramble, aren't I? Okay, let's get back to the point. The key word of today is Atam. That's the name of the cave where Samson hid, the rock of Atam. Tam, got it. I'll make a note. It's like backwards mate. But I'm confused. What do we do with this keyword? That is for you to learn on your own, my brothers. You appear to be intelligent. I'm sure that if you put your faith in the right people, you can uncover the truth. We'll see what we can do. Anything else I can help you with today? Perhaps you wish to make a confession? I don't think we need to ask about the thing. Okay. I think we're done here. Thank you for your time, Freya. Go in peace, my brothers. Okay, so let's just stay. This is 3 days then, so back to what's his face? Sir Volps, you've managed to dig up some good information, I trust. There is good news and there is bad news. Let's hear the good news. I found a way you can meet the Croque Monsieur. He lurks around the Rue de Marmoset on Friday evenings. The Rue de Marmoset? On the Monkey Road, by Notre Dame. Hey, Dyspraxic Dame. Everything's going very well. We're looking into the alternate endings. That seems simple enough. So what's the bad news? Croque Monsieur refuses to speak with anyone who does not know the secret password. And I'm afraid I was unable to procure that particular password. I see. That is a problem. I apologize, I could not be of more help. It's no problem at all, Monsieur. You've given us a fantastic lead. Rue de Marmoset's on Friday. I'll be there. I think we know what the password is. We? We do? Come on, Falcon. Don't be a bird brain. I shan't delay you two any longer. I'm sure you have a lot of investigative work to do. That we do. Thank you for the help, Monsieur Volps.